Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, WGNSSports.com and Big G TV.
We're back on the Coach's Show, brought to you by Sir Pizza, whose 3 Murfreesboro locations offer a wide selection of mouth-watering pizzas, sandwiches, pastas, and wings. Order your favorite pizza online now at sirpizzatn.com. Eagleville baseball coach Brandon Bassham joins us this morning. And, Coach, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thank you guys for having me.
It's absolutely wonderful to have you. You know, it seems like over the past 4 years, especially in one special week at the end of May, we've had a chance to really get to know your teams really well, which is a testament to what you've been able to do with very talented young men that have come in to Eagleville, which is also, and then that Todd guy, he's still hanging around too.
He is. We still have Coach Williamson, and glad we do.
Yeah.
He's probably out there mowing and getting the field ready for today right now. To be honest with you, so.
I'm sure you got to have good assistants.
Absolutely, for sure.
We were just talking about basketball season, and basketball goes from like November to now, and to me it's such a long season. And I think about baseball season, it's not a long season, but boy, you cram it all in.
We do. Like I said, we have really about 8 weeks to get 30 games in. I think I looked at the schedule this year, and it's 57 days from game 1 to the start of the district tournament. So like I said, you got really 8 weeks to get in 30 plus games, and as you said, trying to piece, put all the puzzle pieces together, and so excited for those basketball guys, but we're waiting on them, to be part of that piece too, as you said.
Yeah. When you are in this time of the year, you really can't schedule anything outside of baseball because weather comes in, you have to reschedule a game and bump it around, and then no weddings, no big important things really, right?
Yeah, that's what I tell the guys. You better leave Saturday and Sunday open, but also just have an idea. I said if we get weather or have to, just like this week, we moved the Monday night game that we hosted for sub-state basketball. We moved it till today. So probably at this point we need to take our old schedule and rip it up and print a new one and go from there. To be honest,
yeah. And some years are tougher than others in terms of rain and storms and moving, and a lot of times you don't have control over that, because with outdoor activities, if there's any type of weather watch or warning, obviously, but after school activities are kind of nixed, so you have to deal with the weather a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And so now we got a new weather system there at the school, and I think it goes off if lightning's within 10 miles. It's a lot different than it used to be. So, maybe used to where you might sneak in a game or an inning or two. That doesn't happen anymore. And that's probably for best for safety precautions. But
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of movement going on for sure.
We got a piece of that last year at Spring Fling and softball at Starplex, because the city had that system, and it's like I think we could play another inning or maybe 2 innings here, but no, the lightning detection, which you're right, it's the safest. If it can detect lightning, then it's close enough by, but I would assume that those are things that are probably going to become very popular for those schools that don't have one of those now.
Yeah, I would say we'll get to a point where everybody has those, and some schools use 10 miles, some schools use 8, but yeah. I'm sure that will become whatever rule that becomes, it will become consistent across the board.
Yeah. Does it alert you on your phone?
It does. Oh yeah, on the phone, and it's a pretty. It almost sounds like a tornado siren, to be honest with you. So
really,
it's loud. Yeah, you definitely can hear it.
Okay, so you get that alert on your phone. Does it happen even when you're not playing a game?
I think so. I don't know. We haven't been in that spot yet. It's new, so we'll figure it out.
You'll be at home on a Sunday and that happens. But anyway, so coming off of. You've had some practice with this, obviously, in back-to-back-to-back years, but coming off of another state championship run, did last year surprise you a little bit in terms of how well those guys came together and when they did? I'm sure there's at some point in the season you said, hey, we've got enough moxie to do this.
Well, to me, last year was the most improbable of the four, if I can say that. We lost 6 starters that we had to replace. And there were some tough position battles between seniors and underclassmen. And those seniors just kind of took it and ran. And like I said, we started 1-1, and the one was a 10-run rule at Cascade. I think I came in the next day and did a radio show.
You weren't happy.
I was no, not at all. And at that point, literally, I told my wife the night before, I said, I don't know if that was just a bad night and what we needed, or we're just not very good. And I think we ran all 14 in a row after that. So, of course, when you run all 14 in a row, then you start thinking, okay, maybe we're a little better than I think we are or that we can be. And then I thought we had hit another little low, honestly, kind of the end of the regular season and even to start the district tournament. And then somewhere kind of there in the district tournament, maybe the end of the district tournament or the region tournament, we kind of hit another spot where we just started swinging it really well. We looked confident. We were playing great D. And, it's just one of those things, I think, where they believe that we can do it again. And, again, the state championship run, we were down 6 runs in the semis, score 7 in the top of the 7th, and then, kind of give up a 5-1 lead in the finals, but yet find a way to score in the bottom of the 7th to win it. So, again, and we always talk about that, success breeds success, and those kids just, I think made a commitment that they were not going to be the team to break the streak and keep it going, and that's what they did. So, just so proud of that team, and, it was just a priority to them and what it meant to them, and those were Eagleville kids, and Eagleville meant a lot to them, and, the streak meant a lot to them, and that's what we're trying to get. Again, it's tough, there's no doubt, and then that's what we're trying to do again with this team that we have now.
It is an extra burden and a heavier lift when you have that, and so this year's team is playing with a little bit of that lift, to live up to some very high expectations, which probably is unfair because it's a different team, different personnel. But how is this bunch handling that? Well,
we're 4-0, so we're off to a great start. Now, I'm not sure it's been perfect or real pretty at times, but again, we've had kind of a weird off season. We had the ice storm. We've been through a flu outbreak, and we've got some guys that are banged up and injured, which we hope to have all back, by May when it counts. And then, we talked about our basketball guys. We have 6 on the basketball team that are still out, so we're literally trying to, put, puzzle pieces together. But, it's not something we talk about a lot. We don't have to. They know, the signs are there. They've been to the ring ceremonies and celebrations, which are all great. But, we just want to get better today. It's what we keep talking about. Just be part of the process. And, our step number 1's win the district regular season and be the 1 seed, and then from there, try to win the district tournament. So, we just got to kind of, trust the process, keep getting better. And so far, these kids have handled it. And, we'll have another tough one today when we go out there and play Spring Hill at 1 o'clock.
That's going to be at home today. We're going to talk, more about your personnel. And it sounds like, though, at least 6 of those. And, when you start talking about numbers, and especially when you talk about people who can give you an inning or 2 on the mound, those are important guys that you're going to need to get into the mix as soon as their basketball season is over. But you have to manage around that and manage around other things like sickness and injuries or things like that. So I don't want to say a mash unit, but you've kind of had to put some people maybe in uncomfortable positions, but that's only going to help them down the road.
Absolutely. Like I said, that's going to be the tough part when we get the basketball guys back is trying to get the right pieces in the right spots. But like I said, we had a couple guys last night probably get their first varsity action. That were probably just they just dressed out a year ago and they handled it. So that's those are some positive, like you said, that I hope down the road can help us.
Brandon Bassham with us talking Eagleville baseball. Drake Reminiski last year. John said we were doing a game and he was coming in and he said, "There's the wild man," something like that. Drake seemed to be like the fun there in the dugout, so it probably drives a coach wild, huh?
Drake's an interesting character. Seems like most left-handed pitchers are, but like I said, he's done a really good job for us this time. In fact, he's swinging it well too, so that's been a good surprise. And he's thrown well in his couple outings and playing outfield. So, and like we talked about from a year ago, lost 6 starters again, actually 7 when our second baseman moved to Utah. So, I said it's a lot of different names. Really right now probably Gleason's the only one that was a starter every day a year ago. Because Adrian Severi still in basketball, so that's the 2 guys we had back that started just about every day last year. So, names you've seen like Drake Romaninski, Wyatt McDougal, Jacob Sweeney, some of those guys that you've seen either pitching, pinch hitting, those things have had to step in and take permanent roles in it, and they've done a great job so far.
Yeah, and it's left-handed pitchers and catchers, right?
Yes,
it's like kickers in football.
Yep, that's it. It sounds like you've got it.
Yeah, been around a few. Coach, this time of the year, having to put them in these situations, though, will give you the opportunity to see what they have when you have to put them in a situation where you've got to get through an inning to get to your closer or something like that down the road, or you need a pinch hitter and who you're going to kind of go down the roster and look for, right?
Absolutely. I said that's the tough part. You got 29 guys and 29 different roles, and everybody might not be happy with their role, but if they can accept it, understand it, and run with it, I think that helps a team. So I said that's still what we're trying to figure out. And again, just so many people right now getting playing time, I think will help us. Whether it's maybe in the JV game or varsity game, and again we talked about maybe we get some of those basketball guys back. Like literally, their bullpen might have to be like live. Maybe if it's not even at 100%, hey, go out there today and give us whatever 25, 30 pitches. Like I said, just get yourself ready. As we go down the road and made it to help us and be ready and be the best Eagleville baseball team we can be.
And it's going to take several weeks to get them. Maybe a month, honestly.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, here's what's crazy. I mean, if you get them back after the 21st, again, district tournament starts April 28th. So, literally, we have 5 weeks to get them ready and have all the pieces together. So,
wow.
That's going to be tough, but I think the kids seem like they're up to the task, and, they've worked hard. We've done everything we've asked them. Just like last night, Gleason goes 4 innings, goes 73 pitches. He wants to go another one, which I love and I get as a competitor, but we talked about it. Hey, it's still early. Again, we're shooting for that district tournament late April, early May, and so he agreed to come out, and McDougal came in and closed it from there.
Where would you suggest people, and I've been asking our spring sports coaches because schedules change, games have to be moved up, we're trying to beat the rain, we're going to play at this time or that time. Where is the best place for fans who of Eagleville baseball to go to figure out when you're playing?
We have a Twitter that's pretty consistent. I think I do a good job too of updating it on the school website, but probably our Twitter handle would be the best place. It's usually updated pretty frequently, so that'd be the best place to go. Like I said, to get up to date, or the latest update on the schedule or games or whatever it may be.
And that's Eagle Baseball TN, right?
That's correct. Yep, okay. That's correct.
Eagle Baseball TN. So follow that. I'm asking for the fans, but I'm also asking for myself because it's always like putting together puzzle pieces, honestly, when you do a spring sports broadcast schedule. So I can only imagine what it's like to be a baseball coach. But beautiful day today, so get out if you want to come out about 1 o'clock.
JV at 11, varsity at 1 versus Spring Hill today at home. Yes,
okay.
Sir.
So got a home game today, and then you're on the road for a little bit, looks like.
We are. Yeah, it's kind of weird how it worked out. We had this week all at home and then next week on the road. So, but again, as you said, next week we've already moved Monday's game with Gordonsville for weather to Wednesday. And then, of course, Thursday we're supposed to go to Cornersville, and that game's been postponed because we have a really big basketball game at 4 o'clock against Pickett County at the Glass House. So some schedule changes already for next week. So as I said, take that old schedule, rip it up, and we'll get you a new one soon.
Absolutely. Well, Brandon, we look forward to getting out and seeing the Eagles this year, and good luck on this season. Hope it's another magical run here.
Thank you so much. Again, appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. Brandon Bassham here on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Dan France Concrete, a licensed and insured residential commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. That's Dan France Concrete.